I feel incredibly honored and humbled to be an official QHHT practitioner. For those of you who might not have heard of QHHT, it stands for the Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And it was developed by the late Dolores Cannon, who created this organization that continues today under the leadership of her daughter, Julia Cannon. And recently I've had the absolute privilege of walking through to be a level 2 practitioner. So here I am. The reason I share this is that one of the largest lessons, reminders, observations, understandings of how powerful not only this work is, but how powerful our connection to our guides and the communication we receive is that if, and this is a truth that has been not only shared through my training, but has also been deeply confirmed by my guides, is that if our guides cannot get through to us a message, a reminder, they then will go into our bodies because they are trying to get our attention. So what we might first experience is that we receive some intuitive taps or downloads, intuitive hits. We might experience maybe some immediate physical symptoms. So maybe some ear ringing, maybe some sort of synchronicity. We keep hearing the same thing, like, multiple times in one day or multiple times from different people, or even the same message, the exact same message. So our guides are essentially trying to get our attention, trying to let us know something. And I'm going to give a real example. What's so beautiful is Julia Cannon has written a book called Soul Speak. And there are many books also out there. I think one of my first books on this kind of revelation or understanding was actually Louise Hay, but there are many resources that talk about the metaphysical meanings or the deeper meanings of messages within our body. So if you're experiencing certain symptoms or things, they're actually a message. They contain a message. And what Julia teaches, and then obviously it came through the curriculum with Dolores, is that if we look at our bodies, if anything is happening on the right side of our body, so let's say an ear, something, or leg or what have you, if it's on the right side, it has to do with our life experience right now. So something that is happening in your life experience right now. If it's on our left side, it has to do with, could be earlier in our current life, but basically in the past, or a past life experience. So depending on the location, so the side of the body, but then also the location within our body, there are different messages being communicated. So I'll give you all an example. And this comes from Julia's book, and I'll put a little link in the show notes. So if we're talking about diabetes, what is diabetes? From a message standpoint, diabetes is a lack of sweetness or love in one's life. They are deeply seeking love and sweetness and kindness in their life experience, and they're not experiencing it. And it might start off with our guides trying to advise us of maybe who we're partnering up with, or who we spend our time with, or who we engage with. It could be even how we engage with ourselves. Not loving or allowing this sweetness to be given to ourselves. It could be that we're not willing to receive it. We don't believe that we're worthy of this. And so it could come first. And I kind of share a hierarchy. So normally it's it's communicating something. It's a ping or, a slight discomfort. And then suddenly it becomes pain. And then suddenly it becomes illness. And then it becomes disease. So it kind of goes down this ladder, basically seriousness. But the interesting thing is that it's the same message, it's just getting more and more intense because it's been longer and longer that you're not hearing it or you're not wanting to hear it. So with diabetes, it might be dietary things. You might have maybe suddenly your blood sugar is spiking, or there's little things that kind of pop up or start to come into your existence. It's probably because, again, it starts with communication. And if they can't get through, they're going to go into your body, because what do we pay attention to? We pay attention to our body. If we have an ailment, you might be like, it's kind of annoying. Like, oh, that's curious. Okay, I gotta, my blood sugar spiking. Like, that's kind of interesting. I feel a little lightheaded or what have you. And then suddenly we go to the doctor and it's like, no, this is a serious issue. Like this is turning into diabetes. Like what? And then suddenly it is diabetes. And then the diabetes is affecting other things in your body, which is like, it's just amplifying basically the message. And it's trying to get louder and louder. And I never realized before I studied QHHT that these things are so related and correlated. That our guides are trying to speak to us. We're not listening. They're trying to get our attention. They're desperately trying to get our attention. And so they go into our body to like, hey, this is serious. This is serious. Because love and sweetness in our life, that's how we exist. That's how we not only give the best of ourselves, open our hearts, but impact the beautiful world. But imagine it has now gotten to the point of, hey, you need love in your life. And whether you're not accepting it or you're not paying attention to it, or you keep inviting people or situations into your life experience that are not helping to boost those things, to support those things, they turn into physical ailments. And through my studying, I'm telling you, it was profound when I started to understand and started to study the correlations. Your body is a beautiful, for lack of better words, I call it an instrument cluster, like in a car, your dash. That's what your body is. You are not your body. You are your soul, your light, your spark. You are the observer. You are not your body. You have a body, and that body communicates to you. It tells you things. It is the recipient of messages. It is the host of messages. And that instrument cluster, your body is going to tell you how fast you're going and what you're doing and your vitals. And right, it's going to give you all the information. Whether you want it or not, it's going to host it. And understanding that these things that come into our existence are trying to communicate with us instead of punishments or heaviness or like, oh my gosh, now I have diabetes. Oh my gosh, I failed. Now I can never have a great life. And you go down to this whole path of basically turning it into something that's happening to you. I will be the first to tell you right now, it is happening for you because you're not able to receive the message any other way. You might be ignoring it. You might be keeping yourself so busy that you can't even take 5 seconds to just feel, to be in the moment, to receive. And this is part of the genesis of why Dolores was able to discover and uncover that these things, let's say like diabetes, she has had literally multiple success stories of people walking into her office with diabetes and walking out without it. And it sounds like, how is that even possible? Because the body is a messenger. And if you receive the message with your whole heart, it doesn't have to continue doing that. It can just stop. It doesn't have to continue to show the symptoms of diabetes because you've received the message of how important, let's say, love is in your life. And that you are willing and wanting to bring love into your life and be love and embody love. And suddenly it goes away. This is part of what she referred to as healing. To me, it is releasing. And again, we don't realize how powerful we are. We just don't realize it. And so what I'm here to share beyond the belief, right? Maybe this is not a belief you've ever heard in your life existence. And I will say even just a couple months ago, I had never heard this ever. And then the more I study it, like, wow, like I'll give you another example that like literally from countless stories that I have now heard. Knee pain. So let's say you have your right knee. There's so much pain. It's getting to the point where the cartilage is gone. You now have to have knee surgery. It's an old injury. Maybe it's an old injury because of ignoring. And what knees mean is resisting moving in a desired direction for your life. Because imagine, kind of like if you're stopping or like, no, I'm not going to do it. And you're like pushing your feet back, right? In like the cartoons of like trying to stop and all that resistance, all of that energetic resistance has made that cartilage go away. It's incredible. And your knees having to deal with direction and it being your right knee, that means right now in your current life experience, you are resisting a direction, a change that needs to happen. You're not wanting to do it. And what might have started as a little discomfort and then kind of turned into pain and now has caused some serious like functional challenges. You're not able to walk very well or you can't walk very far. It is trying to deliver a message. And again, now knowing this information, I'm able to help and empower my clients to understand that if they have something that is perpetuated for a long time, it is something that is so important and that they have still not received. But in being able to go under, basically into hypnosis, and be able to connect with their higher self and the beautiful oversoul, right? The powers that be, to receive these messages, they are able to receive it and release the thing that is trying to hold the message there to get your attention. How profound. If you are experiencing physical symptoms of something, a perpetual little pain or an issue or a challenge or something, or it's become something bigger, it is now turned into diabetes. It is now the diabetes is affecting other systems, other organs, other things. I invite you to take a moment to go inside, to reflect. What is my body trying to communicate with me? And if you feel so compelled, to find a local practitioner, a QHHT practitioner, I'll put the link in the show notes so that y'all can check it out. To find a practitioner to help you go within, to basically connect to that inner knowing and to understand once and for all, what is this message that's trying to be communicated with me? Because I will tell you, if you're navigating anything in the body, it is a message that is trying to be received. I would definitely encourage you to pick up a copy of Julia's book, as well as other books that speak about this topic. It's very, very interesting. But I have seen, and I'll leave you with this, for myself, I've had sessions. And one of the things that, as far as a physical ailment, I used to grind my teeth so bad. I mean, to the point where I had to start wearing a mouth guard in 2004. And my mouth guard has to come from the dentist and it's special and it's this, very expensive thing that I have to replace twice a year because I go through them. I literally chew through them. And currently it's 2025. So I've been doing this for 21 years. And I wanted to know, why the heck do I grind my teeth? And my practitioner first asked, what is the root cause? Why did this first come about? And then what is it trying to communicate? And what my higher self, or the SC, what's also referred to, Dolores refers to as the subconscious, but basically the superconscious, the oversoul, said that I am not releasing when I give advice. So I found out also through this that I am an oracle, living a simultaneous experience. And I give guidance or advice to others. And let's say it's not even that they don't take it, that it, hurts my feelings. No, they end up going back to the same thing. They're not taking the advice to move forward. And I don't say anything because obviously that's their choice, but instead I hold that energy in my jaw. It's not speaking my truth. So that energy of frustration of I don't want to see them suffer anymore. I wish they would just do this thing. And as in my oracle energy, I know I'm advising them correctly, as in I know I'm sharing with them what they need to hear. But again, if we don't make that choice, I also learned in the same session, that is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to share the message. It is up to the person in their free will to decide if they will. And this is where I needed to let go, because instead I would hold on. And I held on to it in my jaw because I wasn't saying it. And my body had to dispel the energy. And how it did that was through grinding my teeth. Now that I had my session, I was able to hear the information, receive the message. And guess what happened? It went away instantly. First of all, because I believed it. Made too much sense not to believe it, I'll be honest. But it resonated with my heart. These were things that I truly suffered with, because I would give advice and then there would be points that I wouldn't even want to give advice because I wouldn't want to tell somebody, and then they didn't do it. And then I'd see them suffer and continue to suffer. It was this perpetual cycle. But learning that I had the permission to release, that my job, if you will, was just to share the message and allow them to do whatever they needed to do, because that was their free will. It gave me a breath of fresh air that I've never had. And I'm happy to report officially as of this video, it's been close. I'm just a little shy of 3 months without a mouth guard. My teeth are doing great. And I will tell you, I used to do this and I'd literally chip off a piece of my tooth. So it'd be pretty darn clear that it's not gone. But again, receiving that message, receiving it, believing it, understanding it, continuing to listen to my recording, hearing my SC telling me this over and over again, being in that vibrational frequency allowed me to free myself, and I no longer grind my teeth. So please understand that your body is communicating things with you, messages. You can receive them yourself. You don't need to have a QHHT session. But some people prefer that. There's a lot of things that you can explore in a QHHT session, which makes it extra great. But you can, through meditation, connect with your inner knowing of what is it trying to communicate. And I will say that most things that you're experiencing, they're very obvious. Going back to the knee, it's like resisting a path, walking forward, walking in a different direction. My jaw, speaking, talking, holding frustration, right? Grinding your teeth, like grit, like, "Urgh." So it's very logical. It's very rudimentary almost, like it's very basic. So it's a really interesting thing to dive into. But through this, I have learned the power of your body. Your body is a messenger. It is an instrument cluster sharing with you what is happening in your current life experience. All you have to do is open your heart to receive the messages and release the inbox. Get to inbox 0. Like, release the notification, because the notification will just keep dinging and it will start dinging and then dinging another dinging and everything's dinging, and like that is exactly what it is. Same with the check engine light, right? You can't just take the light bulb out and pretend like it doesn't happen. I mean, you can, but there are repercussions to that. It's better to, what's the code? What am I receiving? What's going on? What do I need to resolve? What do I need to set free? And should you choose to believe that and set it free, my dear, and so it is.